Good morning. Would like to today begin the shir with discussion on Halacha, the Rambam, which is the very okay. The Halacha is about the washing our hands before davening, before Krias Shma, before davening, and how the Rambam deals with that. And we'll take it step by step. Perek3, Halacha1. Krias Shma, the Rambam says somebody who reads Shema, reichitz yodov b'mayim kodim sheyikra. He washes his hands before he reads. Then he tells you that what happens if Zman Krishna shows up and he doesn't have water. So don't wait. Rub your hands on anything, offer it, sir, and read. In Hilchos Tefilah, Perek3, he writes, Hamisha devarim ma'akvenas Tefilah. There are 5 things that prevent our Pishagiya's mana, even if this man arrives. And one of them is Taras Yadayim. And he goes through the other ones. And Halacha1, he explains what Taras Yadayim is. Reichitz yodov b'mayim. When he writes till where? Out of that Perek, till the end of the hand part, right by the where the wrist and the hand and the rest of the hand combine. That's the Perek. And then he davens. And there he says that if you're in the way and it comes on Tefilah, he doesn't have water, don't daven, go find. If you can't find, then you can get away with the alternatives. So there's a clear distinction between Krias Shma and Tefilah. The Makoir of this is in Brachos, where the Gemara tells us, where use their little different lotion, that you gotta first go to the bathroom, wash your hands, put tefillin on, read Krishna, daven. That's the ultimate idea. Then the Gemara says that there's a difference in Krias Shma by Krias Shma and Tefilah regarding this man. So why is there a difference? So there are various explanations. Rashi says because Krias Shma has a very specific time, and we're afraid you're going to lose that time. Tefilah you can daven all day. Now, even though there is those man in Tefilah, but you could get away past this man. It's also called davening. It's not the same. Taisvis Michlal takes out this whole thing and holds that the halachas of Krias Shma and Tefilah are the same. Don't let the time pass. The Rajra asks on Rashi. Rajra asks on Rashi. If you're telling me that the reason, is because of this man, you have a limited amount of time. So what about Naira, where we have a lot of time? And he says, Tefilah also has a limited time, which is the question that we ask. So, or if you're talking about time, then Krias Shma, as much as you can, you should go. So he comes up with a different reason. Krias Shma is deraisa, the link Krias Shma are not Torah. Therefore, we didn't require him to do anything. Get it done. If you can't, if there's no water easily. As we find by other halachas with Rabban. But Tefilah is not deraisa, therefore it can be wrong. Now, what does it mean it's not deraisa? That's not our current discussion. Just a couple of points. He didn't which I don't know that it can answer. Why did he leave out the yifna part? So there's a discussion about that. Also, why does he switch from reich from yitel yadav to reichitz yadav? Okay. So, not that I have answers to that, but I'm just bringing them up because it's interesting. No. There's a sefer called Ben Yedid. Ask the question. Why doesn't he mention by Netilas Yadayim for Krias Shma that it should be also to the part where the arm and the wrist join, like he does by Tefilah? So he wants to say an interesting concept, and I believe that this concept we're going to work with this idea. He says, "Why by davening do you wash your hands? Because tefillahs are made corresponding to kabbanos. So it's similar to Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim that you do in the Mikdash. And that's to the end of the wrist. But Krias Shma is not like Tefilah. It's not Avodah. It's only cleanliness. And therefore, you don't need to go all the way on the prayer. Just to clean your fingers is also enough." And that's his main point. And he brings a raya from a Chuvas Rashba, who brings this Gemara. And at the end, he writes, why the Tfilas Hashacha different than Tfilas Mincha Ma'ariv? Right? And he brings that you have to wash with a keli from davening. He says, because in Shachar, you become a Beri Chadasha, which is brought down, you become a new being. And as it says in the Medrash, Chadashim Labekorim, we learned that out. And therefore, we have to thank Hashem that He created us to serve Him. So therefore, we make all the Birchas HaShachar. And we have to become Kodesh to wash our hands on a kohen, but they wash our hands from a keli, just like a kohen in the Mikdash. That's what it means. Okay, I wouldn't say it's such a strong raya. If anything, that's not so clear. However, the Alter Rebbe, just he doesn't bring it, but the Alter Rebbe, Simon Vov, writes that Yesh no Yagim, and when they wake up in the morning and they want to go to shul right away, they wait with the bracha of the Netilas Yadayim until they come to shul, and they say it with the rest of the bracha. And he says why? It's the wash our hands before we do our avodah. That's like a kohen does it before his avodah. And since the main avodah is which is the 3 steps of Tefilah, well, not really. It doesn't bring all 3. It doesn't bring lahidus, but and therefore before davening you have to make a bracha in Netilas Yadayim. Im ein Tefilah in Netilas Yadayim. And the Simon Sadik Ches, Sivdality writes, Tefilah is in place of carbon, just like Chashava is apostles of carbon. So to here, and therefore when a person davens, he gives a whole bunch of things that we have to compare ourselves to a carbon, to a kohen, be makriv. You have to have nice clothing, and you have to make sure you're thinking properly, and you have to be standing by Shemoneh Esrei. All that is part of the process of davening, being like a kohen. The Shalah writes, "Tzarech hamispalel liros es atzmik kohen, v'atfilah kaveda." You have to see yourself like a kohen. Some sefer, the tshuva, Chelik Aleph Simcha of Gimel, talks about the Nesiyas Kapayim, Duchening, Chol Yom. You know that we only duchen in Chutz La'aretz on Yom Tov, not the rest of the time. And he says, and what's the reason? So the Chazam Sefer gives a reason. We know that Alter Rebbe was struggled with the idea, so to speak. I wanted to implement the Minhag Eretz Yisrael here, but nevertheless, because he's right, Sam Sefer writes, because duchening goes together with Avodah, and Tefilah is Avodah, and when Avodah is not proper, he writes that it's Pigul Chas V'Shalom, so you can't make Birchas HaKohen. It won't get the bracha. And he says that yes, we're all busy. We're busy during the week, running to work, I'm running to take care of things. So most of the davening is not b'kavana. So it's not the time to do Birchas Kehanim. It's interesting. That's all. There are various minhag. Yerushalayim, we do it every day. Once you get out of Yerushalayim, it's only Shabbos, which again would fit in with some Sefer. Shabbos, you're already more relaxed. And I don't know why we don't do on Shabbos according to some Sefer. And Yom Tov, you're even more. Could be that's what it is, because Yom Tov, you're broke. You break much more with the world. Anyway, it's brought down the Tshuvas on Hagis in the name of Reb Chaim, that the reason that the Siyas Kapayim is Manazeh is Minat Torah, when you do Siyas Kapayim, it's Minat Torah, which is a big shaila. Why? Because the Tefilah of the Shliach Tzibur is considered a Tefilah at Tzibur, it's considered Avedas at Tzibur. And he says, avert. Even according to the Ramban, who argues on the Rambam, who says that Tefilah is the rice, and the Ramban says that Tefilah is Rabbanon, that's only regarding you. But about it's an Avedah Minat Torah when you're doing it. You don't have to do it. You're doing it, you're doing Avedah Minat Torah. Okay, that's the general approach. There's more in this issue, but I don't want to get into it right now. I want to come to a conclusion. Perhaps you can say a little different, but it fits to what we said before. Lechem Mishnah and Hilchos Tefilah asks a question. Why doesn't the Rambam in Hilchos Krias Shma begin the halacha by saying, as he begins all other halachas, not all, but many halachas, with mitzvah say Hilchos Krias Shma, right? Why did he start off saying what he should say? And he answers, like the Tirit Sefer Charedim, as a Sefer Charedim, that Krias Shma is the mitzvah of Yichud Havaya, the Achdus al Hashem. And that's something that you have to do it all the time. And if he doesn't write it as a separate mitzvah. The problem is the Rambam does count it as a mitzvah. And in his mitzvah say there's a mitzvah to read Krias Shma. He doesn't say it in the Sefer Hayad. In the words, he doesn't write the word mitzvah say, but in the mitzvah and all over, he counts it as a mitzvah. And there's a lot of questions on this. There's clear cut that the Rambam does hold it's a mitzvah, and the Charedim himself says it's a mitzvah, and he counts Yichud Hashem. There are different answers that are given differently than the Lechem Mishnah. There's a Sefer Lechem Yehuda. He wants to say that you can't bring a Rai. He shows a whole bunch of places where the Rambam doesn't say mitzvah say so and so. There was he came back. When Yehuda, when he did, brings from a Sefer Perek3 that Krias Shma is from before Matan Torah, from time of Yankee. Now I'm assuming he means because of the story of Baruch Shem. But anyhow, the fame that Ram brought earlier. But he says, where do we bring that? There's no right that he learned Krias Shma. He just said Baruch Shem. He said Shema Yisrael, but he didn't say they don't have to learn Krias Shma. Okay. They said Shema Yisrael, and he said Baruch Shem. That's it. And about Shabbos, he says also doesn't start with the word mitzvah says because Shabbos was given a Morah. But he doesn't like all that. He says that you cannot, that any mitzvah that says clearly in the Torah, the words in a mitzvah doesn't start off saying mitzvah say. Because everybody knows it's mitzvah say. Only Tefilah, which doesn't say clearly in the Torah, it says Avodah, therefore he has the right mitzvah say in such type of places. Okay, I haven't done my research. I'll rely on what he says. But let's go back to the Lechem Mishnah. I don't think the Lechem Mishnah means to tell you, well, it can't be that there is no mitzvah to Krias Shma. But what he's saying is that this mitzvah is related to a second mitzvah. And that is to make Yichud Hashem, right? Because that's what Shema Yisrael is. And there are two things. As the Sefer Charedim writes, there's Krias Shma B'Boker B'Erev. Those are mitzvahs Hatui B'Peh. You have to say them. It's sort of a mitzvah of action. And then, as the Charedim brings from the Chinuch, that by saying them and having the proper kavanah when you say them, that helps you, that all day long you conduct yourself in the realm of Yichud Hashem. And everything is Hashgach, and everything is the Eibishter. And it changes your life. Okay. So when you talk about the mitzvah of what does the mitzvah say? But since it is it is related to the mitzvah of Yichud Hashem, so he doesn't make mitzvahs as a likros, because it would have sounded that this is it. Okay. So now, one of the questions they ask that how can be mitzvah seishas mangrama of the Krias Shma if it's part of Yichud Hashem? The answer is, of course, is a mitzvah to say it with your mouth. That's mangrama, as the Chinuch explains. But Yichud Hashem is not mangrama. So therefore, you can't. Kriya has nothing to do with Aveda. Kriya is not about Aveda. Kriya is about Yichud Hashem. And therefore, there's no tahara. This is life. It's part of Maidani. It's part of. It's higher than anything. This is it. This is the beginning of all life. And therefore, the only thing that there is here is Nikiyus. The only thing there is Nikiyus. Okay.